G'day guys, and welcome back to another lesson, and we're back to some 5 Seconds of Summer because they've got this great track that's going on the Ghostbusters soundtrack. Now it really reminds me of like Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, something like that. It's really straight ahead, really pretty simple. There's not too much to it at all. So let's hop on the kit. I reckon we'll be able to work it out in no time, but there's one little challenge. If you're up for it, I'm going to throw it your way. Alright, I guess lesson number 1 is how to count in and how to do a big stick click. I reckon the best way is to hold one stick and then just hit that stick with your other stick. So that's how the song starts, just with that stick click, and then we're going into a crash cymbal thing, which just sounds like this. That is super straightforward. Don't get caught out by that snare drum and open hi-hat at the end. It's pretty easy, but if it's a bit tricky, just slow it down and work it out. It'll take no time. Alright, then we're into our super straight ahead groove. As far as I can tell, there's no hi-hats on the snare drum. So we're just going kick, snare, and every time the snare plays, we leave out the hi-hats. So that sounds like this. Now I know that sounds super duper easy, but the trick is that you really want to make that feel as good as possible and just really solid. You know, not wishy-washy or anything, just powerful, straight ahead. You want to make people dance basically. So that is the main groove for pretty much the entire song. Every now and again we come up with our same fill again, the crash cymbal fill. And sometimes during that fill, I can hear the hi-hats still going. So I think it's just kind of left over from the other recording, but if you want, you could easily sneak hi-hats in between each of those crash cymbals, just like this. Alright, there's one little sort of fill, but it's not really that different. It just goes like this. And then when we go into, I guess, what is like our pre-chorus, the drums break right down and we've just got 4 on the floor on the kicks. When they build back up, we've got 8th notes on the hi-hats, and I can hear some sort of click, and I think it's probably just hitting on the rim of the drum. It's a bit of a random pattern, I guess. It follows the guitar a little bit. See if you can hear it. If you can't, it doesn't really matter. And it's pretty straightforward. It would just sound something like this. Alright, as we go into our second chorus, there's something that really sticks out, and it's a cowbell or an a-go-go bell, or maybe even just a glass Coke bottle. Who knows? But it's that kind of rhythm, that sound that's going into the background, and it goes like this. And because we're not playing a hi-hat, when we play the snare drum, I know for a fact that it's possible to play that with one hand. So if you would like a challenge, you can try and add that cowbell part over on your right hand while keeping the groove going with your left hand. Altogether, it would sound like this. The only other thing that might be a little bit interesting is just a 2-hit fill that comes out of the section where there's no drums and they're just singing the chorus over the top. It just comes in on 4 and 4 and, just like this. 1, 2, 3. And then you're just back into the same groove that you've been using for the entire song. So that pretty much wraps up Girls Talk Boys by 5 Seconds of Summer. It's a nice easy one, it's pretty straightforward, but as I said, you gotta try and make it feel good, feel solid, make people want to dance, and then you'll know that you're nailing it. So happy practicing guys, and I'll see you soon at the next lesson.